Well, y'all, this is me time. Hello, YouTube land. This is my last night in my van for a while until I do a small road trip, because I'm not going to be doing a major road trip like this again. Not that I won't do it, I just don't have anything planned. As of right now, I have no trips at all planned except for this trip. And as a recap, I left Philadelphia. I stayed over in North Carolina. I went on to Atlanta, Georgia, to Montgomery, Alabama, to Selma, Alabama, to Mobile, Alabama, to Biloxi, Mississippi, to New Orleans, Louisiana, to Pensacola, Florida, and then I drove right down to Tampa, Florida, to Largo, Florida, where was it? Indian Rocks, Florida. And wow, Jesus, right in my face, this car is like right in front of me with its headlights on. So yeah, I went right to Tampa. I went to Largo. I went to Indian Rocks. I went to Treasure Island in Florida. Drove all over the place. And then I went over to Daytona, Florida. I went to Jacksonville, Florida, and then I came up and I stopped in South Carolina at south of the border. It's an interesting place. It's more of a convenience store. It's a bunch of stores, really. They got a little arcade. They got a hat pavilion that you could take an elevator ride up to the top of the hat and just check out the area. And they got a campground on site. They got an RV site on site. They got hotels on site. They got a truck stop, but cars could not stay at the truck stop. So I didn't stay there, which is fine. So then I left. Where did I go? Oh, I forgot. Myrtle Beach. Then I went to Myrtle Beach. No, I'm sorry. I passed Myrtle Beach. What am I? I'm looking at my sheet and I'm like, wait a minute. I didn't go to Myrtle Beach. No, I crossed that out because I went to south of the border. And Myrtle Beach would take me 2 hours to get in and 2 hours to get out. And it's not like there's an actual big boardwalk entertainment center in Myrtle Beach, and that's the reason I just blocked it all out, because I figured I could do what I just did. And I went to Ocean City, Maryland, and then I went to Virginia Beach. Well, I went to Virginia Beach, then I went to Ocean City, Maryland. And now I'm in Cape May, New Jersey. Whew. Not had another car like blind me, and I hit the button like real quick. But anyway, so yeah, now I'm in Cape May for a couple days. I went to the ocean. Of course, that's where I've been, through this whole entire trip, but not in the water, because here on the East Coast that shit cold, right? So it was okay in Virginia. Chilly, but okay. Florida was perfect. I mean, bathwater perfect. Unbelievably perfect. But Ocean City, Maryland, and, here in Cape May, it's freezing cold. Rehoboth Beach, that's the other thing. I went to Rehoboth Beach. I took the ferry over to Cape May. I've been on the ferry before, but I've never done that before. Like, just like drove myself home on a ferry. So that was really cool. Yeah, and then I came into Cape May, so I'm here for 2 days. And tomorrow I'll be going home. So yeah, it's been a great trip. I only ran into traffic a few times, like where it was stop and go, and it was nothing major. Can't complain about that. Leaving Virginia Beach, I had to leave unexpectedly because, the planes were flying overhead and they were so loud and noisy. There's no way I could have been able to sleep. So I had to drive out of Virginia to get into Maryland so I would be able to sleep for the night, which was great. It happened. But before I left, it started to downpour. Oh man, it was great. I thought, oh, this is going to be perfect sleeping weather. We got a storm, and it's the only rain that I really came across. Well, there was another slate shower. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, yeah, so right as I was at the Cracker Barrel in Virginia Beach, contemplating leaving to going into Maryland, it's got really windy and really chilly, and all of a sudden it was a downpour, and I was like, yeah, I gotta go, because the planes were like crazy. So I had to drive, and I had to go over water and through 2 tunnels in order to get off the island, but to get back into Virginia. So, and it was a long stretch of a road through the rainstorm, which was ridiculously bad. I mean, it was bad, but I had to drive 2 hours just to get out of Virginia in order to get to Maryland, which was fine, because I had a great night's sleep, you know, other than that. And when I got to South Carolina, I was at south of the border. I didn't know it was right on the border of North Carolina. I did not know that. Who knew, right? So anyway, I get done at south of the border, and it starts spritzing on my car, and I'm like, oh, and I look and I see the clouds don't look all that hot, and I'm like, oh, another storm's coming in. And so I get on to the 95 again, and it was like, as soon as I left, I drove out of south of the border, and I went across the road, and I was in North Carolina. I was like, what? South of the border. Now it makes sense, right? So, and then it was pouring. The ground was saturatedly wet. It wasn't pouring, but the ground had been wet. So it poured in North Carolina, just one street over, technically. And I missed it. And like the storm that I drove through for 2 hours, which was perfectly fine because I had no bad weather the whole entire trip. So yeah, that was a good thing. So yeah, this is my van. I'm at Walmart's parking lot. Last night I slept at a beach in Virginia called Higbee Beach. It's a wildlife reservation, and it was nice. I slept right on the ocean front. Oh, I hope I don't hear any more trains tonight. I slept right on the ocean front, which was really cool. But tonight, the bugs were so bad that I wasn't even going to sleep there because, you know, even though I have screens for my windows, these are screen vents, you know, just to give me some air. And I got a screening over top of it so I can get air on both sides. I did it. Bugs could still get through the cracks where the windows are because they're not like perfect. So I was like, all right, we're not staying at the waterfront. I came to Walmart in Rio Grande. They allow parking here, which is great to know because I can do another Cape May trip just for the fun of it, you know. So yeah, everything's a learning experience, and I'm learning as I go. For an example, my table in the back, I have to cut the legs. It's metal, but I have to cut the legs to make that table as low as my bed so I can put my fan. This is one of my fans hanging up. You see my fan? In order to give me air. But if the table was low enough, I could set it on that table and it would be so much better, you know, because the table is kind of useless because it's really really tall. And I didn't realize that when I got it. And my bed, because it folds up, right at the first crease, it's going into the bar of the bed, which is where my legs rest. So it's not my back giving me an issue. I can sleep perfectly fine like that, but I have to get like a board or something just to put where the crease of the mattress is. So when I sit here, I don't sink in to the bar of the bed. which is no big deal. No big deal. The bed is comfortable. I have no complaints with the bed. But I do have to put something there where the crease is for the bed so it doesn't sink in. And I have to cut that, like I said, so I can put the fan on the bed, on the stand rather. And I want to find maybe, possibly, I'm thinking about finding, I need a different type of material. This is like maybe a nylon or polyester material, and the edge is frayed from me driving with the windows down, and you know, I cut them to fit, but then with flapping back here they started to fray, and it's not affecting the curtains, but I would rather have some kind of curtain up here that's not going to fray with it getting caught up in the wind, you know, when I'm driving. So I want to look at that. Everything else seems to be perfectly fine. I didn't use my desk at all. I haven't been on my computer. I haven't used it. I've done everything on my phone. So now I know that my handheld camera I don't need to bring with me. I can leave my handheld camera at home. My laptop I will bring with me just in case I need it. Because otherwise it would be worthless. And yeah. But anyway, this is home. This is set up, and there's my Buc-ee's. My Buc-ee. I bought at Buc-ee's. It was too cute for 15 bucks. Couldn't pass it up. But yeah, so alright, that being said, I guess it's long enough of a video. So I'm getting off of here. I hope everybody has a great week coming up. Bye now.